All parties on Nicholson versus Shannon. Step forward, please.
31-year-old machinist Robert Nicholson claims former live-in lover, 27-year-old Michelle Shannon, owes him for rent after they split.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 698 on the calendar in the matter of Nicholson versus Shannon. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
You're in love, you move in together, you rent an apartment together, right?
Correct.
When did you meet?
About 6 months prior.
So you knew each other 6 months when you decided to sign a lease together.
Correct.
And how long did it last?
Approximately 14 months that we lived together.
And your lease was 2 years.
Correct.
And you left.
Right.
And you want her to pay her half of the rent for the remainder of the lease.
Correct.
She says she was more than fair. You moved out in December, is that right?
Yes.
December what?
It was early December. I don't know the exact date.
Had you paid the rent for December?
Yes, I had.
Is that right?
Correct.
And you had a security deposit on the apartment?
Yes.
How much was the security deposit that you put in?
I don't know the exact amount. I believe it was half.
What was the security deposit?
$600 is what her half was.
And did she leave you with that?
Yes, she did.
So she paid December's rent. She left you with the security deposit, right?
Correct.
And how much was the entire rent?
The entire rent per month was $1,075,
Okay,
which we split each month.
good. So she left you a month to find a new roommate and a month for good measure because you get her $600 back at the end of the lease, right?
Well, sort of, kind of.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
Just answer my question.
Okay.
Sort of, maybe, could have. $600 security deposit.
Yes.
When you move out, you get back your security deposit as long as you pay the rent and leave the place in good order, right? So now she's really paid you 2 months. You tell me, since it's clear that this relationship was over, what you think should have happened.
Well, she signed a 2-year agreement, okay, and it says in the agreement that no oral, verbal notice of any kind it's invalid. It has to be in writing in 30 days in writing, okay, and all parties have to agree to it in writing. And there was no writing of any kind. It was just simply I'm moving out and she moved out. We also talked about getting back together and her moving back in. She said if I don't even like where I'm living, I might move back in a month. Okay, and I was wanting her to stay because I wanted the relationship to work out.
According to these papers, it got pretty ugly there in the end of November, the beginning of December.
Oh, I had found out that she was seeing someone behind my back at her
So
work.
it got pretty ugly. Whatever the reason, it got pretty ugly.
Correct.
Why should two people who are not married, who have no children together, who have no other ties together, stay in an apartment where they're both going to be miserable?
We shouldn't, but
Good.
she's legally bound to the end of the lease, I feel. Because
Oh.
if I lose
Are
my
you
job
still-
next month and I can't pay the rest of the rent, the owners of the place can take me to court for the remainder of the lease, correct?
Well, you have, sir, in December, by the way, you still living in the apartment?
Yes, I am, and I've looked for roommates. I've had ads in the newspaper ever since day one. I have not found anybody.
They have
Yes.
not been in the newspaper. They've been in the recycler, and there's not even a sign out front, which doesn't cost any money.
Mr.
to do.
Nicholson.
It's a back house. You can't even see the house from the
Mr.
street.
Nicholson, show me the ads that you put in from day one looking for a roommate.
These here are highlighted ads in the recycler. The reason why I did not put them in the newspaper, because just for 1 day it was $45, for 2 days it was $65, and for 3 days it was $72, and at which time I also had told her at one point that I only had $40 to get me through 2 weeks. Couldn't even afford it.
You indicate here that you offered to help him put ads in the paper, is that right?
I did.
When did you tell him that?
It was not that long ago when he said that he wanted to sue me, and I didn't understand why, because I thought that I had done my part. I went over, met with him, trying to find out why he was going to sue me, and I said at that time, I would pay for ads in the local newspaper, and if I needed to, I was just trying to figure out what my part was.
So what did he say to you when you offered?
He said no.
Do you remember having a conversation with her about her assisting in putting ads in the paper?
Yes, I do, and that was only after I had mentioned that, hey, you know, taking you to small claims court, and she said, fine, go ahead, see if I care, okay, and then this was only a matter of 2 weeks ago that she had come over and then was being very nice because she was worried about being sued and trying to manipulate me into not suing her by offering these to pay for these ads, which for several weeks prior to that, she didn't want nothing to do with me, not to offer to pay for any ads or anything like that.
Let me see the lease on the apartment. How large an apartment is this?
Actually, it's not an apartment, it's a house.
How large a house is it?
2-bedroom house with a 2-car garage. It's a back house.
Have you been to the house since?
Just the last time I was there was to visit and speak with him about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Anybody else there?
No.
Why are you only asking for $350 a month rent?
Because that's all I feel I can really rent the place for. It's just a room, and I'm not going to allow anybody to use any space in the garage because the garage is full of my tools and equipment, and I don't want no one in there possibly stealing anything of any kind. So I'm just renting a room. I had a roommate in there before, and I only was letting her pay $300. I make good money, and I can afford most of it.
When did you have a roommate there before?
She had lived with me at an apartment prior for 2 years, and she was in our place together with us for maybe 4, 5, 6 months at the most.
You mean when you were living together?
Correct.
So how much rent were you each paying?
I was still paying the $540, my portion, because I didn't want to get used to relying on someone else paying an additional portion of the rent.
Is that right?
Yeah, we were splitting half the rent.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't get any utilities of any kind from her because of the other roommate.
Yeah, because of Melissa.
What utilities?
Phone, electrical.
You mean Melissa didn't pay her own phone bill?
She did have her own phone, but she used mine quite often.
Sure, but she used her own phone. And what about the two
She
of
used
you?
mine quite often, too. Not to mention, she didn't have a car. I drove her everywhere she needed to go.
You plan on staying there in
I
the
plan on
house?
staying there simply for the fact that to move and to come up with first and last and security somewhere else would be a problem for me because financially this is putting me in the hole every month. The reason why, as far as the house goes, the reason why I wanted to rent a house and not an apartment is because I have a lot of tools and equipment on which I do a lot of work on cars and welding and things like that. I wanted a 2-car garage. And we were happy finding a house that had a 2-car garage so I could enjoy my hobbies.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I'm suspect that not one person answered these ads in the paper.
I've had 2 calls.
I'm sorry about that, sir. Listen to me. Get over it.
And later today,
When this was put through the mail slot in your dog jumped up. And when she jumped down, she hurt her back legs. So you're suing her. Correct.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Nicholson is suing former live-in lover Michelle Shannon for rent he says she owes after she moved out.
This relationship clearly didn't work out. There were several alternatives. One alternative was for you to stay together in an acrimonious situation, which is untenable for people who are married and ridiculous for people who are not married. The defendant, as far as I could see, did everything she could to be reasonable. Reasonable was the relationship wasn't working out. She said, I'm going to pay December's rent. I'm not here. You can have the security deposit, which is another half month's rent. I'm being very fair with you. We shouldn't be together. Either make other arrangements for another roommate or tell the landlord that you're going to give the landlord 3 months to find a new tenant, but that you have to leave. You chose not to do that.
I did put my ads in the paper.
Sir, I can't tell, and quite frankly, I'm suspect that you did not find somebody, that not one person answered these ads in the paper.
I've had 2 calls.
For a house for $350 a month.
I've had 2 calls.
Well, I don't know what you said to them, and I don't know whether you're as angry with her, whether you're so angry with her and irritated with her that you say, I'm not going to try to mitigate the damages, but clearly you like staying in that house. You
Yes, I
just
do.
told me you can afford to stay in that house.
No, I cannot, by myself.
Well, if you can't afford to stay in the house, sir, then what I absolutely advise you to do is to let the landlord know that you have to move out. You still have her half of the security deposit, which would amount to 1 month's rent. I am going to give you 1/2 of another month's rent of hers, or $500. You find somebody else to live with, or let your landlord know that they have 3 months grace to do that, and you would each pay for half of that.
And if they take me to court for the remainder of the lease?
I'm sorry about that, sir. Listen to me. Get over it.
I'm over it.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thanks for nothing. She's undedicated and undevoted and doesn't know what loyalty is, and she was cheating on me, seeing someone after work.
I didn't want to be with him anymore. And I did not cheat on him. I would just like to say that.
And now the next case.
All parties on Hennigan versus Clifford. Step forward, please.
Real estate agent Betty Hennigan says Irene Clifford caused her toy fox terrier, Speckles, to be injured.
All right. Now, Miss Hennigan,
Yes,
this is the dog in question.
this is Speckles.
Very nice dog. According to your complaint, you and the defendant live in the same housing complex. Is that right?
That's correct.
Your complaint indicates that the defendant put some political propaganda in your mail slot, which is in the door.
Correct. Excuse me, can I just say that it was her flyer. I didn't physically see her, but I'm sure she authorized the propaganda.
So you didn't see her put it in, but it was her propaganda that was slipped through your
authorized
door.
the
She
distribution.
authorized somebody to do it.
Correct, Your Honor.
And when this was put through the mail slot in your door, your dog jumped up.
Correct.
And when she jumped down, she hurt her back legs.
Correct.
So you're suing her.
Correct. Your Honor, if I
It's
just
just
might add, it really isn't funny if anybody ever heard a dog yelp in excruciating pain.
I don't think that that's why anyone in the court gallery is chuckling, Miss Hennigan. I think that the reason they're chuckling is how you could blame that on somebody else.
Well, the reason I blamed it on somebody else is that would be the same as somebody violating my privacy, that mail slot is to be used only by U.S. postal employees, and I do have a statement and an investigation that's going on by the postal authorities because not anybody is supposed to be able to go into your mailbox.
Miss Clifford,
Yes.
you don't look like a terrorist.
No, I'm not.
So I'd like to know what kind of political propaganda this was that was slipped through her door.
Well, it was one sheet of paper. This happened on February 2nd. We were having voting on February 4th. And
Voting
Ms.
for what?
To elect, well, really, to remove 2 dissident directors from the board of directors and to elect 2 new directors. Now, Ms. Hennigan moved in late in March, I understand, and she joined up with the dissident group, which is about 20 or 30 people. So
Excuse me.
I have here a list of 26 things that went through her door
Just show me
that
the one.
weren't invasion of privacy.
Just a second. I'm not worried about invasion. Just show me, please, what the document is that you're complaining of, Miss Hennigan, if you still have
This
it. For...
document actually has my little dog's teeth right in the top of it.
All right, let me see this. Let me see this.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have not taught your dog to read, is that right?
That-
Dog doesn't read.
No, but the dog does not have to have mail delivered at 20 to 8 at night.
And your dog knows how to tell the time?
Closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Betty Hennigan claims neighbor Irene Clifford caused injury to her fox terrier, Speckles.
All right. So this isn't clearly not a terrorist propaganda. This says, warning to all members from Irene Clifford. That's you.
Right.
And then it encourages you, the people, to come and vote
Correct.
at the next meeting of the cooperative board.
Correct.
Or
Members.
to elect new members, etc. Ms. Hennigan, I'm going to let you finish telling me about why you think. First of all, I'm going to ask Ms. Clifford, did you actually put this through her door, or did somebody
No, I
else?
didn't. I have a map here. I was in my unit here, and this is the unit where it was delivered.
But Irene, you
A half
authorized
a block
somebody.
away.
Ms. Hennigan, don't speak to her.
I'm sorry.
You did not personally deliver
No,
this.
I did not.
But this came from you and you gave it to other members of the board to deliver?
They weren't on the board yet.
Okay, but you gave it to other members and everybody
Members.
put it through the mail slots.
Right,
Is
which
that right?
we've done for 26 years before she moved in.
All right, so if you want to notify somebody of a meeting,
Right.
you want to notify someone that the water is going to be shut off,
Right.
or that the electricity is going to be shut off, what you do is you take a flyer and you put it through the mail.
In the townhouses, in the garden apartments, they tack them to our door because we don't have the openings. We have a main one for 17 units.
Okay, but in the houses, this lady has it through her door.
Right.
Okay. Why do you have your hand up?
Well, because when they announce when the meetings are going to take place, they do put a flyer. It's on a fence before it goes into a grassed-in area, and there's also a bulletin board near the on-site manager's office. And when we want to find out when there are going to be meetings held, we have to look there. It is not a common practice. There's postings for the meetings.
Miss Hennigan, listen to me very carefully.
Yes.
How long have you been living there?
I've been living there since August.
Okay. And you have your mail delivered there?
Yes, I do.
And the mail is delivered through the door slot?
Correct.
And the mailman delivers the mail there, other than holidays, 6 days a week?
Correct.
You have not taught your dog to read, is that right?
That's correct.
So the dog cannot differentiate whether there is political propaganda or a piece of mail coming through your door slot, is that right?
No, the
Is that
dog
right?
doesn't.
Dog doesn't read.
No, but the dog does not have to have mail delivered at 20 to 8 at night. I actually truly introduced my dog to our mail person. It's a mail lady, and she does know the dog, and she exercises a little bit of concern, of caution. She doesn't want to be hurt in the mail slot, nor did I want my little dog hurt. This was 20 at 8 at night, Your Honor. It wasn't during a normal time of day when the U.S. Postal would be delivering mail.
And your dog knows how to tell the time?
No, but the dog does know when it's dark out.
Miss Hennigan, it could be dark out when it's dark in the morning because it's raining and that's when the postman delivers. You were irritated because this came through your door and because your dog was injured. But that doesn't mean she's responsible because she happens to be the author of this piece of paper. You're being ridiculous, madam. You're being ridiculous.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Your complaint is ludicrous. Your complaint is absolutely ludicrous. You put a notification that she did not put through the door. You have no proof that she put it through the door, despite the fact that it has her name on it. She did not put it through the door. And you're suing this lady because your dog jumped up. Has your dog ever jumped up like that before?
Yes, my dog jumps, yes.
Jumped up like that for mail before?
But she was never hurt.
Has your dog ever jumped up like that for mail before?
Yes, she has.
All right. So that and you've seen it.
Yes.
Then what you do is you put a basket there, you put a sign there, put my mail outside, because you're the one that had noticed that your dog jumps up for the mail. She doesn't have that notice.
But, Your Honor, I even have it from the postal inspector.
You told me postal inspector 4 times. I'm telling you common sense, madam. Common sense. She's not responsible for this. Don't be ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you something else. If you live in a cooperative apartment or if you live in a condominium where everybody is supposed to get along, to start this kind of difficulty over nonsense is not a good way to start being a good neighbor. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Your
All right,
Honor,
excuse
excuse me.
You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on
All parties on Gabolios versus Murphy. Step forward, please.
71-year-old Arpad Gabolios is suing 35-year-old teacher Terry Murphy for trashing his house, not paying rent, and forging his checks.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 659 on the calendar in the matter of Gabolios versus Murphy. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Gabolios,
Yes,
you own a home here in California?
Yes, I do.
And according to your complaint, you also live part of the year in Hungary.
Yes, I do.
And it's been your practice to rent your home during the period of time that you're there.
Exactly, Your Honor.
You rented your home to the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
When did her tenancy begin?
on February 1st and ended on November 1st of 1998.
And according to your paper, sir, the arrangement was she was to pay rent to an agent that you had here.
Exactly, Your
And
Honor.
the rent was, for a furnished house, was $500 a month?
Yes, Your Honor.
And she was to pay her own utilities with the exception of one thing.
The cable TV.
And you were to pay that.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to you, you left her some checks that were made out to the cable company for the months that you would be away.
That is absolutely correct, Your Honor.
And they were actually made out to the cable company?
Yes, Your Honor. Century Cable.
Tell me what happened, sir, when you came home at the end of October.
I came home on October 31st, and just about midnight, because the plane was late, and I found the door, the entrance door open. Most every light was on, and the whole house was a mess, and my bedroom, the master bedroom, was broken into.
Had you had that locked when you left?
Yes, Your Honor, it was locked.
So it was locked, and she had the use of all the other parts of the house except your bedroom.
Except my bedroom and except my wine cellar. Well, I have to explain, Your Honor, that the garage I converted to a wine cellar because I make my own wine. And then I found the sofa from the living room moved into the wine cellar. I also have pictures to show that, and I can show you how my whole house was trashed.
Let me see, please.
On one of those pictures, you can see the barrels, the wine barrels, and the sofa in front.
Is this the way you found the outside of the house with all these papers and garbage?
No, it was a couple days later, Your Honor.
What do you mean a couple of days later?
Well, because she left a few things behind, and I asked her to come and get it, but she didn't get it right away, and came back 2 days later or something, and then she trashed the sidewalk, as you see at the front.
You say that she didn't pay you rent. During what period of time didn't she pay you rent, sir?
She didn't pay the last month rent of October.
Did you pay him the last month's rent?
I paid the rent. I do not know what happened to it.
Show me, you paid
I
by
don't
check.
have- the check never went through.
So that you didn't pay him. Take a look at this garbage on the front of his house. Tell me how that happened.
It happened because he came home, locked me out of the house, and threw all my belongings out of the house. That night, I had the police come and a locksmith to let me in. And the police told him he was responsible for any belongings of mine that were destroyed, lost, or damaged.
Why did you trash the front of that house?
I had to come over for 5 days in a row and go through the trash, go through the garbage in order to get my belongings out of the garbage.
Is that the reason that you're telling me that the front of his house looks like that?
Yes.
Okay. So, I have $500 that you owe him for the last month's rent. Now, he says that you forged some checks. Show me, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Show these to the defendant. Did you change the payee on those checks?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. May I explain?
Sure.
When I came, Your Honor, he had somebody in there a short period of time. He wasn't going to rent to me, and then something happened between them. I came in, I paid a deposit on January 20th. I moved in on February 7th. Because of the short length of time, he said, I've got to find somebody, I'm leaving. He left the next day on the 8th. So I was to pay for the electricity, the telephone, and he was paying the rest of the utilities. That was the verbal contract. I do not have that in writing. In April I came home one day and the water was turned off. I had no idea why. I called up the water company. They said, Mr. Gabolis hasn't paid for the water. So then I put the water in my name. In October, all of a sudden I come home, the gas is off. If I was to put them in my name, or if it was to be changed, he didn't stop them. I was unaware that they were supposed to be in my name. So I took the checks that he had given for the cable, and I paid the bills that I thought he was supposed to be paying.
You can't do that. You can't do that. That's forgery.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
I'm talking to you, madam, about calling your bank and saying, check number 467, put a stop payment on it immediately because it's lost. That's what normal people who are articulate do. Anybody who knows how to forge checks knows how to do that.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Arpad Gabolios claims Terry Murphy trashed his house, didn't pay rent, and forged his name on his checks. Terry is countersuing for her security deposit.
He gave you checks made out to a cable company, and you changed it to Southern California Edison, California Water. What's GTE?
The telephone company.
Telephone company, $285 in October. You were living there since February. He didn't have a phone bill for $285. Telephone. So you have an excuse for the telephone bill too?
At that point, I was tired of being harassed and having things turned off and having people come into my house without my permission. And yes, I got angry, and it wasn't the correct thing to do.
It sure wasn't. $285 for the phone, $72 for water, and $139.47 for Con Edison in October.
Your Honor, may I read part of the agreement which she signed?
Yes.
The rent is $500 a month plus $500 security deposit. The $500 rent is payable at the first Friday of every month to Tom Biscorny, neighbor and friend of Arpad Gabolios. During the above-mentioned 9 months, lessor will be in Hungary, and at that time, lessee will pay all utility bills, including gas, electric, and water bills.
At the time that occurred, Your Honor, he was leaving the next day. He didn't want to write a new lease agreement, and it was all verbal.
No, that's too bad. Just a second. Not finished yet. You also say that she stole some property from your house.
Yes, Your Honor.
What did she take?
She stole a table from my den. I have some proofs here. This is she left the 4 chairs and the leaf, the middle of that, and it shows even the.
Where's his table?
I have no idea, Your Honor. I didn't take his table. Other people had access to that house and came into the house without my permission and without notifying me. And there were people he gave the keys to.
Where did you go on October 31st when he came home? He came home, and I absolutely believe him, that the front door was open, that all the lights were on. Where had you gone that evening?
I had gone, it was a 3-day weekend. I'd gone out for the weekend. I didn't know he was coming home.
Just a second. So you went away from the weekend, you left the door unlocked.
No, I didn't, Your Honor.
And you left the door unlocked, and you left all the... Oh, he's telling me the truth. There's no question in my mind about that. What was the value of this table?
About $700.
Show me. You have to show me. Proof.
I don't have the table, Your Honor.
Well, you have a bill for it?
Well, no, I do not, because I bought it a long time ago, some 20 years ago.
Okay, 20 years ago, sir. It looks like a Formica table. Is that what it is?
No, wood table. Wood.
Wood table.
As you can see it on a picture, Your Honor.
Okay. Doesn't look like a very expensive table, sir. But whether she took it herself or whether because of her negligence it was taken by somebody else, she's responsible for it. I've given you $300 for the table, sir. I want to tell you something. I find this business with forgery of checks very serious business, Miss Murphy. Very serious. You're just lucky he decided not to prosecute you. He could have.
Well, he was cited for criminal charges, and he's had previous criminal charges for what he's done to his tenants.
For what? With regard to you?
Forcible entry and unlawful detainer, and I didn't start the criminal action.
Well, how did the police find out about it?
Because I was locked out of the house, and I had been paying the rent. And
No,
I
you
came
didn't
home
pay-
and the locks were changed.
You didn't pay the last month's rent.
Well, Your Honor, you read my opening statements, correct?
I sure did.
Okay.
I'm asking you to show me a check.
I took the rent over to the person it's supposed to go to. I put it in to their mailbox. On October 14th, he called me up and said, I didn't get the rent for this month. I said, okay, can you put that in writing for me and I will issue a new check. Never heard from him again
He
until
doesn't have to put it in writing, Miss Murphy.
Well,
If you're
when my
smart-
mail is
you're-
being
you're-
stolen and people are coming into my house.
Hey, Miss Murphy, I wasn't born yesterday, madam. When somebody says I didn't get a check, you don't say, put it in writing. You call your bank and you say, this is my check number. I want you to put a stop payment on that check because I'm reissuing a check. That's what you say. Anybody who knows how to forge checks knows how to do that.
Not when
So you
people have
fo-
been breaking into my house and taking my mail.
I don't care whether they have or not. I'm not talking about breaking into your house and taking your mail. I'm talking to you, madam, about calling your bank and saying, check number 467, has it cleared? No. Put a stop payment on it immediately because it's lost, because I'm issuing a new check for it. That's what normal people who are articulate do. And don't tell me you didn't know how to do that because I won't believe you.
I did know how to do it, but I
So why
felt
didn't
he
you
was-
do it?
Because I felt that the neighbor was playing games with me and I wanted it in writing.
That is the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Well, if
that is the
man
dumbest
is-
thing I ever heard. You believed the neighbor because he was playing games with you, so you wanted him to put it in writing instead of calling your bank and saying, put a stop order on the check.
I would have done both, Your Honor. And I
Why
would have
didn't
given
you
him the
do
check.
one? Just call and put a stop payment on the check. You thought you'd get away with the last month? Forget it. It's not going to happen.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today,
I made a mistake and I signed some paperwork I shouldn't have signed.
Of course not, because you were living together. Come on, this is ridiculous.
closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. 71-year-old Arpad Gabolios is suing 35-year-old teacher Terry Murphy for trashing his house, not paying rent, and forging his checks.
Now listen to me. You have a cross complaint. You want a return of your security deposit?
If I didn't get an explanation as to why I kept it, and he never asked me
Give her
for
the
rent.
pictures. That's the explanation. I want to tell you something, madam. If I came home and found somebody had forged my name to checks and hadn't paid rent and left my house open, unlocked, with all the lights on, I would have given you nothing. Nothing. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,296.47. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I shouldn't have changed his checks, but I was very angry and frustrated by them that things were turned off that weren't supposed to be turned off.
She didn't remember that she's supposed to pay all the utilities. You know, I mean, with her background, she has a major psychology or something like that. You know, I mean, it's rather obvious that she's a crook.
And now the next case.
All parties on Mitchell versus Miller. Step forward, please.
28-year-old lab tech Janet Mitchell claims former live-in lover, machinist Jonathan Miller, 27, owes her for supporting him while they were together.
Miss Mitchell, you and the defendant, according to the complaint, lived together for about 2.5 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And you say that after a rather acrimonious breakup, he owes you a whole bunch of money for living expenses during that time.
Yes.
What kind of an arrangement did you have with the defendant with regard to living expenses?
There was no at the time arrangement. There was a period where after about a year we decided we were going to break up, and I made up an itemized list of what he owed me at that point. And we agreed that he would start making me payments. Well, we reconciled and decided not to break up at that point and give it a try, and we tried for about another 1.5 years. And after we had dissolved the relationship, I brought to him another itemized list of further expenses, and he signed it. I have the list.
Let me see it, please. Did you sign this, sir?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
So then what are you doing here?
I don't agree with the amounts. The reasons I had signed that at the time being was I was trying to reconcile with Janet at the time, and I thought that maybe that would help out, so I made a mistake and I signed some paperwork I shouldn't have signed.
But quite frankly, when I read your papers, and Miss Mitchell indicated in her papers that while you were together, you turned over your paycheck to her.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she paid the bills.
Yes, ma'am.
And you agree that he gave his paychecks to you.
He did, but the expenses on that were above and beyond what was just normally paid for by the bills, which was electricity, rent, different things like that. The others were vacations for his children and his wife, ex-wife.
2 months without pay.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I was unemployed for about a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
I was working, but it was as a salesman, so there wasn't income coming in. So.
Well, when this happened, when you were not working, did you have a discussion with each other about what was going to happen with this money?
No, we did not, due to my hours at the time period, Your Honor.
No, what I'm asking you is, at the time that you were out of work, did you discuss with him, well, you're out of work at this time, but I will cover the expenses, but you owe me what you would ordinarily be earning, so that when you get a job, you'll have to recoup this amount as well as another amount. Did you indicate that to him?
No, I didn't, but...
Of course not. Of course not, because you were living together. Come on, this is ridiculous.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
What's a bike frame?
It's a mountain bike frame, the frame for a mountain bike. It's just the body without the tires, gears, derailleurs.
Well, how did you get it?
I purchased it from a company.
Did you pay for it?
It took me a year and a half to pay it off because it was a $1,200 frame. So I was paying on it monthly. And then I did receive a payment from Janet. She did give me a couple $100 to put down on the bike when I was buying it.
Was it a loan or was it a gift?
It was never stated either way.
Is that right?
Yes, it was. No, it was stated that it was a loan.
And what's the plane ticket for your kids, and I assume that this is your ex-wife?
Now it is, yes. About 2.5 years ago, I'd say, while Janet and I were living together, we had my daughter and my son and my ex-wife fly out for vacation so I could see my kids because it would be cheaper than us flying out there. And so we had my ex-wife and kids come out and visit us, and Janet did put that on her credit card.
Let me see the bills.
I don't have them. The only thing I had was that signed itemization that he gave me.
You don't have any bills?
No, I don't. I don't have... I didn't think that I would be needing to save those receipts or anything like that.
Miss Mitchell, clearly you had the bills, madam. Clearly you had the bills when, and all the amounts, when you made out this list. I mean, you have 2 nights with kids at a hotel, $32. Where did you get that figure from?
That was how much it was.
Well, where did you, what I'm asking you is
From
where
my memory. From my memory.
From your memory?
A lot of that stuff was done guesstimate by memory because I knew that it was $32 a night, and I didn't have the receipts, but I remembered that it was $32 a night.
I'm dismissing your case, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the...
All parties on Freeman versus Sharaf. Step forward, please.
39-year-old mechanic Charles Freeman claims Abe Sheriff's 16-year-old son, Sammy Sheriff, dropped Charles' 8-year-old son, Taylor, on his head, resulting in 22 stitches.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 678 on the calendar in the matter of Freeman versus Sharaf. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Mr. Freeman, this must be Taylor, is that right?
Yes,
And Mrs. Sharaf, this must be Sam.
that's right.
These 2 young men were friends. How old is Sam?
He's 16.
And were the families friendly?
I would say yes.
According to your complaint, Mr. Freeman, Sam was playing with your son, and your son was injured.
Yes.
Were you present?
No, I wasn't.
Who was present?
My wife,
Is she here?
she's right here.
Perfect.
And, of course, Taylor and then my son, Vance.
All right. Now, Ms. Freeman, why don't you explain to me exactly how your son was injured? Did you see it?
Yes, I did. Your
The
Honor.
whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you start from the beginning?
We had just returned from the bike shop, and we parked on the street. We had to walk approximately half a block to our home. And I was just locking up the truck when I turned around and noticed Sam tossing my son in the air over a rough pavement. And I noticed that was a very dangerous act. So before I could get to him, I was crossing the street. The accident had already occurred. My son was dropped approximately 3 to 4 feet from Sam's shoulders.
When you say he was tossing him up in the air, had he been on his shoulders?
No, it was more like a fireman's carry.
Show me.
Like this.
So he had him over one shoulder. That's the way he was walking with him.
They had already stopped him. He had tossed him up like this and was twirling him around.
Mm-hmm. And you were right behind them.
They were already across the street. I was locking the truck.
You saw it. You can't be locking the truck and seeing them at the same time, Miss Freeman. So what I'm asking you is, you saw him enough to see him throwing him over one shoulder, throwing him over another shoulder, and my question to you is, did you say, put him down right now?
I started to run across the street. I couldn't get to it in time.
Miss Freeman, if I saw somebody engaging in conduct that I thought was dangerous with my child, and I was just across the street, I would scream, put him down.
I yelled.
You just told me that you didn't yell. You just told me that you started to run across the street.
Yelling, I'm sorry.
No, Miss Freeman, you didn't. Come on. You didn't. You weren't there, right?
I wasn't there.
But he was there. Right? Mm-hmm. Come on up here, Sam. Tell me what happened, Sam.
Well, we came back from the bike shop, and we were walking. We all got out of the truck. Donna was locking up the truck, and we were walking, and I picked Taylor up, and I had him, like, on my shoulder, and, well, I go to put him down, and he just, like, he was, like, his head was right here, and I went like that to put him down, and he hit his head on the ground.
How long have you and Taylor been friends?
I've known Vance since 4th grade.
So it's you and Vance who are friends?
Yeah.
Step up here, Vance. Friends?
Yes.
And you were walking with them when you saw Sam pick up Taylor?
I didn't see him, but I turned around. I was walking, and I turned around, and Taylor was on the ground. I heard a hit on the ground.
So you didn't see it?
No, I walked past him as he picked him up.
Okay. Now you can sit down. All right, Taylor. How are you?
Good.
How old are you?
8.5.
8.5. And how old were you when this happened?
8.
You remember what happened that day?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me what happened?
We just got back from the bike shop. We just got out of the truck, and he put me on his shoulders, and he dropped me, and I got up, and I said, "Why'd you do that for?" Then he picked me up and went to the house, and he put me on the couch. And then my mom called 911. Then they came, and then they took me to the hospital.
And you had played that way with him before? Where he picked you up and put you over his shoulders?
Yes.
Where had you played like that before?
By our driveway.
And when you played like that before, was your mom home?
Yes.
Did you ever tell your mom that you didn't want Sam to do that?
No.
Because you were having a good time?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Yes.
Was your mom ever outside when she saw? When you were playing like that? So she was in the house?
Yes.
Okay. You're a nice boy.
Thank you.
And you learn fast. See how good you are? Yes, no, right? Very nice. Okay, so your lawsuit, Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, is for medical bills.
Yes.
When I read your papers, this seemed like a very unfortunate situation because these two boys used to be friends. And I don't know why they're not friends anymore.
They're still friends, but they're not able to play at each other's houses.
Why?
Sam's more than welcome to be at our home, but unfortunately Vance was told he can no longer go over there.
Why?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Why is that?
Your Honor, because I was afraid from the liability about it. So I did speak to my son not to go there, and I told him in the meantime, I don't like to see Vance in our house.
There are several theories under which you are not entitled to recoup from this young man and his family your medical expenses. First, parents are, or I believe should be, liable for the torts, that is, the negligent acts of their children. In this situation, you were aware, or should have been aware, that this is the way your 8-year-old child played. Now, you may say that you didn't see it, but as a parent, you have the responsibility to see it because you have the responsibility to supervise at all times your child who was 8 years old. Then he would have been on notice. Don't pick him up, don't throw him over your shoulder.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I would never allow anybody to toss my son around and play like that over cement.
What I'm telling you is,
I have never seen it.
if you never saw it, you should have seen it. You weren't paying attention.
I don't
You
believe
should
that.
have seen it.
I don't believe he ever did do it over cement. We have a big grass front yard.
Listen, madam, you're not talking to somebody who's 35 years old. You're talking to about a boy who was 15 or 16. And he's not saying the cement child can get just as injured over grass as he can over cement. You know, you said if I saw him playing with him over the grass, it wouldn't have been so terrible if he was throwing him over the shoulder, because if he fell, he would have fell on grass. That's ridiculous.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And later today,
The only thing that I don't believe, sir, is the word investment. Investment is made up in your mind.
Well, not if you intend to give money back.
No, if you intend to give the money back, it's a loan.
this is Real People, Judge Judy. Charles Freeman is suing Abe Sheriff for his 8-year-old's 22 stitches after Abe's 16-year-old son, Sammy, dropped the young Taylor on his head.
This is the kind of accident that's nobody's fault, Mrs. Freeman. It's nobody's fault. It's certainly not the kind of situation that requires a lawsuit, because it isn't anybody's fault. It is truly an accident, and everybody bears a little bit of culpability. He certainly will know for next time that he shouldn't do that, and you as a parent who's much older and much wiser will know that you have to supervise your children better. So this is not something that should have broken up a friendship between these two boys. That's very, very unfortunate. Fortunately for you, and fortunately for this gorgeous little boy, he wasn't seriously injured, because he's here today and he's fine and he's bright and he's articulate and he's got a good memory of the events. So clearly it didn't injure him long term. For that you should be grateful.
Thank God.
Not sue. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Good to see you, man.
This way. Out the back door to your right.
It's okay.
Hey.
He had a severe gaping hole in his head that had required plastic surgery and 22 stitches.
It was an accident.
It was an unfortunate accident, and thanks goodness now the accident behind us. We're looking forward to for Sammy to rebuild his friendship with his friend, and thanks goodness too for Taylor injuries, not bad. And we would like to be friends with the Freemans again.
I want to be friends with Vance again.
And now the next case.
All parties on Bennett versus Snipes. Step forward, please.
44-year-old school groundskeeper Myron Bennett is suing his nephew, 27-year-old pager business owner Wilfred Snipes, for a $6,000 loan. Wilfred says it was a business investment that lost.
Mr. Bennett, this is your nephew.
Correct. Yes.
You claim that you made a loan to him, substantial loan,
Yes, I did.
and he hasn't repaid you.
Correct.
So why don't you tell me how it came about that you made this loan and for what amount?
Okay, this happened back in July of '98, and at the time I just got a settlement from my job, and he had came by my house and asked to make a loan for a pager company that he wanted to get started, and I loaned him the money, and he wrote me a little paper saying how he was going to pay me back in about 3 to 4 months, and I haven't received anything. And this is the cashier's check also.
me about this pager business of yours.
Okay, what I have, Your Honor, I have a pager business. And
Look at me.
What I have, the pager company, and what I did, I offered him if he would like to make an investment in the company to increase my profit. And I told him with that matter that he would be able to receive like checks every month after the business grow. More and more.
Anything like that, Your Honor.
Things change every day. Prices fluctuate on the pager company, on pages itself. So what I had bought, Motorola came out with another mark and just
Mr.
dominated
Snipes,
that.
you're doing a lot of double talk for me, sir.
Basically,
Your Honor, first of all, if I would have went into business with him, I would have signed an agreement for me to be on the company also. Nothing like that never happened. And the only reason why I loaned him the money was because it's my favorite nephew, and I believe what he told me at the time that I gave it to him, they would have it back to me. And I asked for it over and over again. We had an argument on the phone. He cursorily, I can't use the words that he used toward me on the phone, saying that I get it whenever he get it, and I just would have to wait. And the only thing I got from him is that I get a free pager service from him, which basically only $8 a month, if you want to call that payments, you know.
You don't have that many years.
Exactly.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
No. Look in my eyes, sir. Stop shifting from foot to foot and look in my eyes.
Closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Myron Bennett claims his nephew, Wilfred Snipes, owes him for a loan. Wilfred says it was a misunderstanding. It was a business investment.
All right, I read your defense, sir. Convince me that this was a business investment.
Well, only way I can convince you
look here.
is by telling you on what
You went to his house.
Right.
Start with, I went to his house.
Okay, I went to my uncle's house, and I knew he was coming with some money, so I asked him, you know, could he give me some money, and basically in order what I need to do with it. It was to increase my profit in order to kind of like help him as well as help myself on expanding my business more as I would like to.
Convince me it was a business.
I mean, that's what it is, Your Honor. I have a pager company.
Well, I know you have a pager company.
Right.
Convince me that your uncle went in as an investor in your business, other than in your own mind.
I can't convince you no other way about just a verbal agreement, basically. That
Well, I didn't hear a verbal agreement. I heard you went there, you asked him to give you the money because you wanted to increase your business.
The only other people I got is my brother right here, my brother Derek Snipes, which can say that he was there with me when I said it myself.
Oh, well, step up here. You were there? Was he there with him?
Yes, he was.
Yes,
Let's
I
hear.
was.
You're the brother.
Yes, I was there. Basically, he did. He told him that it's an investment. You will get your money back on top of more money. And they basically had
Tell
a
me
verbal
the
agreement.
conversation, if you remember it.
I do. My brother came up. We all came there together, and he told him, I'm opening a business. He said, okay, what do you want to do? He said, I do need some money to help things get started. I'll get it back to you. Would you like to put an investment in it? My uncle said, yeah.
The only thing that I don't believe, sir, is the word investment. That's the only thing I don't believe. I believe he came to you, I have a business, I need some money.
Right.
That I believe. Investment is made up in your mind.
Well, not if you intend to give money back.
No, if you intend to give the money back, it's a loan. It's a loan.
But as an investment, when you invest in something, you expect your money back.
He was investing in your brother's word that he would repay him the money.
Right, and he will. He just didn't pay him fast enough.
$8 a month, free pager service since July isn't exactly payment back. Do you work?
I work for my brother's company, actually.
How many other people work for the company?
There's two more. There's a secretary and there's another person that...
Well, you get paid, don't you?
Sometimes when it's going good.
You get paid. And who's the secretary?
Another friend of the family, and she gets paid.
And she gets paid.
Right.
Right? And who else is there?
The guy that does the crystals on the pager.
And does that guy get paid?
Yes.
Why didn't he get paid?
He will.
We just wait and let it grow. It takes time for a company to grow.
No. That's if He's in business with you. Now, let me tell you what happened. Look in my eyes, sir. Stop shifting from foot to foot and look in my eyes.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
How much money did you put in this business? Cash, money. Look at me.
About the same.
About the same.
Right.
So if he's an investor and you put in 50% and he put in 50%, then he should be a 50% partner with you. Do you intend to give him 50% of your profits?
No.
If looks like you're winning, right?
But it's this. Okay.
But look, it wasn't meant like that because he just was coming in there. I mean, like he was doing no work.
Just a second. A, I don't believe you put in $6,000.
I didn't stop putting in 6.
How? Well, yes, you did. You said about the same. About the same. It's about the same.
But I ain't saying full 6 now.
Oh, okay. Because I don't believe you put in 6. I believe maybe you had 6 to start up the whole business. That was his 6 that you had to start up the whole business. Maybe you put in $12. Maybe you put in $18.
Because you got to advertise, put the flyers, buy the pages, buy the crystals, buy the computer system.
Yeah, with his $6,000.
The disc alone cost you $2,000.
Right, that's another 4. You still got 4 left over. So he put in all the money. He put in all the money. You were doing all the work. Well, seems to me that if he put in all the money, and if I believe your story, which I don't, by the way, that this was an investment, that he should get 50% of all your profits. And you just told me, oh no, he's not going to get 50% of my profits. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well,
do you know that?
That wasn't an agreement.
That's not no agreement.
That wasn't an agreement.
If I give somebody 50% of my profit, how am I going to maintain running the company?
Just a second. So what was your agreement?
The agreement was that I will pay him, monthly as the company grows, whatever the profit
As the company grows, you were going to pay him monthly. Just a second. Is what you want me to believe that when you were sitting there and saying, I need this $6,000, you had this whole discussion with him, and as the business comes in, I'm going to be able to give you money, a little bit of money every month? You telling that what you want me to believe? Hey, look at my eyes. Yeah? Wrong. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Back door to your right, please.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
All parties on Grant Family Daycare versus Bachman. Step forward, please.
Chris and Julie Grant of Heart to Heart Daycare are suing 28-year-old accounting clerk Shawneen Bachman for not paying the bill for her 8-year-old daughter's care. Shawneen claims her daughter Karein was injured falling off the monkey bars.
All rise. Now, this is case number 656 on the calendar in the matter of Grant Family Daycare versus Bachman. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Miss Grant, you run an after-school program or a daycare center?
Yes, I do.
You're suing for a relatively small amount of money, $139. And that $139 is because the defendant withdrew her daughter from your program.
Yes.
And failed to give you 2 weeks' notice.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not that she had the service, it's just that in violation of the contract, she withdrew the child without giving you an appropriate amount of time to get somebody to fill her spot.
Correct.
And Ms. Bachman, you say there was very good reason for that.
Yes, there was.
So I'd like to hear that.
On December 21st, I went to pick my daughter up, and, I signed her out, and that was it. They said goodbye, and so my daughter, Karein, kept saying her wrist had hurt. So I looked at it, and it was swollen, and then on her left hand, there was dried up blood. So then I told my daughter if it still hurt, I would take her to the doctors. I didn't think it was that important because no one told me that she was hurt when I picked her up.
Well, did she tell you she was hurt?
She did, but I didn't think it was that major because I wasn't aware of it when I picked her up. So I looked at it and, it was a little swollen. And so then the next day I asked Julie what had happened. She told me what happened.
What did she tell you?
That she wasn't there. One of her daycare assistants was there, and they took care of her, and they put ice on her wrist.
Tell me what happened.
Karein,
you want to tell me what happened at the daycare center with her little girl?
Yes. On the day in question, the 21st, she was on the A-bars. that we
What?
have in my backyard. I have pictures to show what the A-bars look like. Here you go. And apparently she fell off of the A-bars where the little boy is in the picture, and came to the daycare people, the two helpers that I have, Miss Esther and Miss Marissa, and told her that she had hurt her arm, and they asked her if she needed ice. She wasn't crying, to my knowledge, and so they brought her in and gave her ice, and she was there for about approximately 10 or 15 minutes. At that time, she ran back out to play and proceeded to do the same thing again. And they asked the second time if she wanted to have the ice on her, and she declined the second time.
Go ahead.
When I got home that day, the helpers told me what had happened, and in fact, Kayleen actually came to me and said, I hurt my arm, and I said, are you okay? And she said, yeah, I'm fine. And then she went back to play. Now, when her mom came that evening, I did tell her what went on.
What did you tell her?
No, I told her that she fell off of the bars, and that I'm really sorry that she did that. We put ice on it, but I happened to notice there was a little red spot in her arm. I said, but it went away right after that. I have 2 letters from my helpers who are currently right now watching my children as we speak.
I can't accept letters from your helpers.
What we do have the signed, the ouch slip essentially, which was indicating of the injury.
You have a what?
We call it an ouch slip, which is essentially an indication to the parent of what actually occurred during that day.
And you gave that to the defendant?
No, she did not. No, I did not.
You did not?
No.
Why didn't you give it to her?
Because apparently when she came the following day, there had been nothing written in my book to state. We keep a record of all of the injuries that happen in the daycare, and on that day in question, my helper forgot to write it down. But I assured her when she came that second day that I would have her write it down, and she would have an ouch slip when she came back.
Okay. And as a result of that, you withdrew your child from the school?
I mean, there's been more than one incident. Yes, that's why I took her out. One of the reasons.
But it was immediately after this that you took her out. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I'd like to see is this book that you have.
Sure.
You're licensed by the state?
Yes, I am.
Which state?
The state of California.
And how many children are you allowed to have in your facility?
I'm allowed to have 14 children.
And this is in your private house,
My
is that
private
right?
home.
How many children did you have the day she was injured?
Maybe 8 to 10.
And you say you had 2 helpers there?
Yes, I did.
What is the background of these 2 helpers?
They are a mother who has an associate arts degree in early childhood education, and at the time a 17-year-old helper who's a senior in high school.
Where were you?
I was out picking up food for the daycare.
Are you allowed to be off the premises?
Yes, I am, as long as I have 2 helpers that are qualified by the state to be there.
17-year-old is qualified by the state? Mm-hmm. I don't see how a 17-year-old can be qualified by the state.
She has fingerprints that are sent to the state. Yes, I don't have evidence that she's left.
You mean she doesn't have to have any training? All she has to do is be fingerprinted?
Fingerprinted and a child abuse index card put on her, sent to the state of Department of Justice in Sacramento.
Are you telling me that in order to care for children, all you need to be is not a convicted felon?
Correct.
That sounds outrageous to me. Mm-hmm. It would seem to me that you have, if you were smart, a higher responsibility. And that higher responsibility is to hire somebody, if you're not going to be there, that's older than 17 years old, if you're going to have 10 children that they're going to have to monitor.
Your Honor, my other helper is 28 or 29 years old, and she's a mom, and she's the one with the associate arts degree.
She has an associate's degree. I mean, she's been to college for 2 years.
Yes.
That generally is the qualifications that we find that most providers have in the industry.
That doesn't make it right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
I think you're pretty slick. Because nobody gives this kind of a note when somebody makes them a present. Unless you have a good story that you'd like to concoct for me, as to why you gave him this note?
It was to pay back the money.
Right. Now you got it.
Judge Judy. Chris and Julie Grant of Heart to Heart Daycare are suing Shawneen Bachman for not paying for her 8-year-old daughter's care. Shawneen claims her daughter Kayleen was injured while under their supervision.
I'm going to quote some of the things you said to me in your testimony, Ms. Grant. You said that one of your helpers, how old are you?
8.
Asked the 8-year-old if she wanted ice. The 8-year-old said no, so she didn't give her anything the second time she was injured. A person with a certain amount of experience, a certain amount of training, would not allow an 8-year-old to choose the method of treatment for an injury. Somebody who had brains would say this is the second time the child fell on the same wrist and I have to take some action with regard to this, right? And the person that you think was qualified did not. So I think that the defendant had an absolute right and an obligation to remove her child from your daycare that very moment. And the fact that she didn't give you 2 weeks' notice is a testament to her good judgment. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm just very frustrated, that's all. Seems the daycare people can't get a break, and they don't get paid very well either.
I was going down a ladder, and when I was going down, my hand had slipped, and there was a ditch right where I fell, and my hand was stuck there like this for about a minute or 2.
And now the next case.
All parties on Bauer versus Bauer. Step forward, please.
45-year-old toolmaker Joseph Bauer is suing his ex-wife, 35-year-old veterinarian assistant Brandy Bauer, for a car loan and rent. Brandy claims Joseph was abusive.
Mr. Bauer, how long were you and the defendant married?
8 years, ma'am.
When were you divorced?
1995 was when the divorce proceedings started.
When were they concluded?
1997.
It's your claim, sir, that sometime after you separated from your wife, you made a series of loans to her.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me, when were these loans made and what were they for, sir?
Well, my ex-wife and I separated, and she came to me and told me that she needed to have money for a car so that she could get a job. My main concern was that the welfare of my daughter, and without a...
Who was the child living with at the time?
At the time, she was living with Brandy.
Okay.
And she told me that she needed money for a car so she could secure a job. I told her that for me to do that, I would have to take out a share loan from my profit sharing at my work. And I had to have the money back. It was a loan. Any kind of early withdrawal would have caused me penalties both for an early withdrawal and for the tax purposes because it was a capital gain. She said, okay. She told me I could hold the pink slip on the car that she purchased as security on the loan. And so I made the payments real reasonable, $100 a month with no interest. I gave her the money, approximately $3,400. Within just a couple of weeks, she came back to me and told me that she couldn't get a car for that much money. She needed another $1,000. I said, well, if you're going to do that, I want some kind of notarized paperwork saying that you have the loan with me so that we can get this up above board. I asked her for the loan, for some kind of paperwork for that. She gave me a handwritten note that said that she had borrowed now $4,400.
Do you have that note?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see it?
Here's the originals. And here's the bank draft for the withdrawal for the money.
You took this note?
She gave that to me. She would not give me a notarized copy of
Just a second. Had you already given her the other $1,000 when she gave you this note?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the only note she gave you?
She wouldn't give me anything else besides that.
Because...
She says it's a gift of money.
That's what it says. It says, I, Brandy Bauer, on this day, Friday, the 29th of September, 1995, in agreement with Joseph, this note will be exchanged to Joseph for a gift of money in the amount of $4,400.
Ma'am, I wasn't present when she gave me that.
No. But that's what she wrote.
Yes, ma'am.
And this shows that you took the money out on the 25th of you took out $1,000.
$2,000.
$2,000. But you only gave her $1,000 on that day. What'd you do with the other $1,000?
I gave
You took out $3,400.
Yes, ma'am.
And then she said she came back to you sometime later and said, I can't get a car for $3,400. I need another $1,000.
Yes, ma'am. So I took out the $2,000.
$2,000.
Gave her $1,000 of that money.
Yeah.
And held on to $1,000 because I knew she was going to need to secure insurance and the registration for the car. I wanted the pink slip with my name on it.
Okay. So out of this $2,000, you gave her $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a total of $4,400.
Yes, ma'am.
And what else, sir?
She came to me a couple weeks after that and told me that she was going to get evicted from her apartment. She needed $500 to keep herself from getting evicted. I was worried for the safety and welfare of my daughter. At that time, I decided to make a conscious decision to throw good money after bad and loan her another $500. And I never saw a dime from that day on.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He made you loans. He may have hoped that if he made you the series of loans, you would feel kindly towards him and take them back.
Oh, yes, I know for a fact.
So what?
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Joseph Bauer claims his ex-wife, Brandy Bauer, still owes him for a car loan and rent.
Okay, let's hear.
Well, the point that he says that she was living with me is not true. She was living with Joe. The car was for my benefit to help me in my business.
Why would he do that?
He was trying to reconcile at that time because I had left in 1995. He was put in jail for spousal abuse. It was traumatic at that time.
He was put in jail for spousal abuse, but meanwhile your daughter was living with him, so there must have been a reason for that.
I couldn't financially make the means for me to support her and myself. And so she was with him at that time. At a later time, she came back with me.
Okay. He gave you $3,400 and he gave you an additional $1,000 because you didn't...
That's not true.
What's not true?
He did not give me additional $1,000.
Did you write this note?
Yes, ma'am.
This note says $4,400.
Oh, you're right, you're right. Yes, I did get that money at that time for
so
a
you
car.
got $3,400, you got an extra $1,000.
Yes.
And another $500 for an apartment.
No, I lived at my own place. I paid for it to get in.
Because he says that he gave you another $500 because you were going to be evicted from your apartment.
That's not true.
Is it not true like the other $1,000 wasn't true?
No, the $1,000 is.
But you just remembered that?
Yes.
You want me to tell you something, Mrs. Bauer? I think you're pretty slick. And let me tell you why I think you're pretty slick. When somebody gives you a gift, which you're saying that these were gifts. I have never, in all of my experience, seen somebody write a note that says, in exchange for the gift, I'm giving you this piece of paper in exchange for your gift. So his story has a ring of truth to it, that he gave you this money, you were supposed to pay him back. When he said, please give me a notarized paper, or a piece of paper that says, I promise to pay you back, you already had the money in your possession. So what you gave him was this, and you said, there you go, I gotcha. Because nobody gives this kind of a note when somebody makes them a present. Do you understand? Unless you have a good story that you'd like to concoct for me as to why you gave him this note.
He didn't have to take that note. He didn't have to take it.
He wanted a note. At the time, he wanted a note. What did he want a note for? Try to think of something, Mrs. Bauer. What would he want the note for? Just to say, like a thank you note?
Right.
Like a thank you note?
No.
Well, what do you think this note was supposed to be for?
I understand. It was to pay back the money.
Right. Now you got it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
So why didn't you pay him back?
I don't believe I owe it to him.
Shh. Why?
Things that had transpired in that time, I had left for spousal abuse with my daughter at that time. We had left. That was May of 1995. I was now living with my daughter
June 1995 in another place. He was trying to reconcile, and in his attempts to try and get back together, he was willing to do anything. Give me money, help me with my rent.
He was willing to do anything to try to get his family back together. Is that right?
Right.
All right. And you said, I need a car, and I'll pay you back. And I need another $1,000, and I'll pay you back. And you wrote out this note, the thank you note, right? You still haven't told me why you don't think that you ought to pay him back.
Because I knew his intentions behind loaning me the money. He was
Good. You read his mind as to what his intentions were, according to what you just said to me, for loaning you the money. What were his intentions for loaning you the money?
That he and I and my daughter, our daughter, would get back together, which I never once told him that that would be a way for us to be back together.
So that's what you assumed he gave you the loans for. Is that
right?
right?
Oh, yes, I know for a fact.
So what? He made you loans. He may have hoped that if he made you the series of loans, you would feel kindly towards him and take them back. That doesn't make a loan a gift. That makes it a loan in anticipation of maybe, along with getting paid back, maybe you'll get back together again. And if you got back together again, maybe you would say, listen, if we're all a family, then you don't have to pay me back. But that didn't happen. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,900.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And
all parties on Kerbrat versus Skinner. Step forward, please.
31-year-old daycare owner Christy Cabret claims 30-year-old mother Tracy Skinner owes her for child care. Tracy says she filed a complaint after her 2-year-old daughter was injured.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 626 on the calendar in the matter of Cabret versus Skinner. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Please have seats.
Ms. Cabret, you run some sort of a child daycare center.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You run that out of your home?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been doing that?
For about 2.5 years.
And you are licensed by the county?
By the state of California. Community care licensing.
According to your complaint, you accepted Miss Skinner's daughter into your class.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
When did you accept her into your class?
3/10/98.
Is that correct, Miss Skinner?
Approximately, yes.
And how long did you stay in your class?
Until February 2nd, 99.
So she was there for a long time?
Yes.
You claim that the defendant owes you for child care.
Correct.
Okay. Your cross-complaint says that because your daughter was terminated by the plaintiff, you will cause certain distress, including the fact that you had to lose days from work.
Yes.
So that's your counterclaim.
Yes.
So why don't you tell me, since the child was with you for a year, what precipitated the problem?
Another child was playing, twirling around with a baby bottle and a doll. And Shania, which is her daughter, walked into the child, which caused a little laceration on the forehead. I did try and contact the parent at work several times. I didn't receive a phone call back, so I felt the child needed medical attention. So I took her to her primary physician, which was in my charts. The doctor also tried calling the mother, and the mother did not call them back for 2.5 hours. So
you took the child to the child's own doctor?
The child's pediatrician, which
is that
the
correct,
mother
Ms.
put.
Skinner?
Yes.
Okay, so far you don't have a problem with that?
Not at all.
Good. So what happened then?
Everything was fine. The mother finally contacted me about 20 to 2 that day. She picked her daughter up. Everything seemed fine. Then I received a phone call about 9 p.m. that evening. She stated that I overreacted to certain issues she felt.
Like what?
The week prior to that, her daughter was very ill. The mother goes out of town quite often for business. The child stays with her aunt, which is a witness right there. The week prior, her daughter was very ill, vomiting, and I tried calling the aunt, and I didn't get a phone call back for a few hours. So
What did you do?
What did I do? I had to keep the child. They're ill. I separated the child from the others, and we took care of her until the aunt picked her up.
Okay. So then you get this phone call a week later after the bottle. Mother did, in fact, come eventually, pick the child up. 9 o'clock that night, you called her and said you didn't like the way she handled it.
It was actually 8:45 in the evening. I made it a point. I waited that long because I was upset. And because my daughter was hurt in her facility, I waited that long. I wanted to make sure that I was calm and that I didn't call her angry because I knew I was returning my daughter there the next day. I didn't want her to, you know, do anything to my child.
Why did you ever need to calm down?
Well, I was upset.
Why were you upset?
I was upset because I had already told her that in the future, if you cannot reach me within the first 15 minutes, please contact Valerie Mason. She told me she couldn't do that.
She couldn't contact?
She told me she did not have to do that. She did not have to contact the emergency contact.
Okay. So?
And so I called her back that evening, basically trying to find out why she was unable to reach me when I have so many forms of, you know, she can reach me.
Okay.
But yes, it does happen.
It does happen, and your daughter was, I assume, bleeding from her forehead?
Mm-hmm. She
Right?
waited an hour
Listen to me.
before.
She was bleeding from her forehead. Seems to me she reacted. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why you were angry. Because if your daughter was bleeding, what she did was she may have gone to the phone, made a quick call, didn't get you right away. Child's bleeding, you say, forget this. Look up on the chart. Who is the child's primary physician? I'm not going to take the child to an emergency room. Going right to the child's doctor to make sure everything's okay. It seems to me that that's a good thing.
Very good.
So I don't know why you were... Put your hand down. So I don't know why you were angry.
No, I wasn't angry at that.
No, because you said to me you went home and you wanted to calm down. You didn't call it till later because you were so angry.
I was upset.
Upset?
Yes.
All right.
That,
So you
well,
were
I was
upset.
upset my daughter got hurt, yes.
Well, but that happens when
Right.
you're in
Exactly.
a daycare facility.
And I didn't want to call her to make her angry because I knew that she would get defensive.
Okay. There came a time when you terminated her daughter.
Yes.
How much later did you terminate her daughter?
It happened the following Tuesday.
What happened?
Since I couldn't reach the parent at her job, and these were the current numbers on the medical consent, I gave her new forms that needed to be filled out, so in case of an emergency, I could contact her immediately. The forms were not returned until, they were given to her on Thursday, and they weren't returned until Monday. I did notice that there were stipulations on here that state in case of an emergency only, which because of licensing, I cannot accept that because it limits our ability to properly care for a minor child.
Let me see. I see exactly what you mean. This is a standard form from the Department of Social Services Community Care Licensing. When you return this form, instead of just indicating that these are the numbers, contact numbers, you wrote, only in a 9/11 emergency, otherwise parent or emergency contact must be notified, exclamation point. And then again you wrote, only in a 9/11 emergency, otherwise parent and or emergency contact must be notified and given further instruction. And she said to you, I cannot accept this form the way you wrote it out. Perfectly reasonable.
And she stated
Perfectly reasonable.
that I worked for her and I would do as I was told.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now look, Ms. Skinner, you are clearly an intelligent woman, but your counterclaim is $1,429.70. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And later today,
all of a sudden I saw a dog's head just above my hood and smashed right into it. The dog flew a little bit of a distance. I jumped out of my truck to try and help. It was a real chaotic scene.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Daycare owner Christy Cabret is suing Tracy Skinner for daycare charges. Tracy claims her daughter was injured and she was not immediately informed.
How many days of child care did your child attend her facility that she was not paid for?
She has a check in her possession. I prepay her $95 per week. I attempted to settle this matter out of court.
How many days are we talking about?
2 days.
2 days. So you prepaid her, but then according to these papers, you stopped the check.
Yes.
Okay.
She refused to refund my money.
Well, you say that when you called the bank, they told you that there was already a stop payment on the
What
check.
happened was
Can I see the check,
I
please?
informed the mother that I would have to call the bank to make sure, because I deposited on Monday, Tuesday she wanted her money back. I said, I need to find out that the check cleared, and I would be more than happy to give you a refund and a copy of all your forms. The next day she called me and said, forget it, drop the forms in the mail. And when I called the bank, there was already a stop payment on it.
So it's about $40 for the 2 days, is that right?
It's $19 a day because she's on a full-time rate, or it's $25 a day.
Okay, so it's $38 that she owes you for the 2
Correct.
days, right? Because this check is useless, right?
Yes.
All right, you clearly are entitled to your $38 so far. You have a cross complaint.
Yes.
For what?
Well, because she terminated my daughter on the spot. First of all, I get off at that time, my hours were 7 to 4. I get off at work at 4, and when I came in, she was in the kitchen. And when I came in to speak to her, I came in and I said, okay, what? We went through the same thing. At this time, we were
What same thing?
Oh, I'm sorry. The same
You
thing
went
we went
through
through
the
in the
form.
morning. Right.
You
she
went
said
through a
that
discussion
she
of the
couldn't-
form.
Right.
Now look, Miss Skinner,
Mm-hmm.
you are clearly an intelligent woman, and you clearly understood very well that what she was complaining about were the things that you hand wrote in on this form. Your own interpretation of what you wanted her to do. You clearly understood that. She says she can't do that. You say, whatever you say, these are my instructions. I'm the parent. You work for me. This is what I want you to do. She says, I can't do that. You don't say to her, well, then give me a form and I'll fill it out and leave out these special instructions.
No.
So she terminated your child. What do you want her to do, lose her license?
No, not at all. But
Good. So, if you had to take your child out of school because this was not a good form, right? Then you either get your aunt to watch the child for a day, or you get somebody else to watch the child for a day, but your counterclaim is $1,429.70. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And Ms. Skinner, it's clear that for almost a year you left your daughter in this facility. So it's clear that you felt as if, I'm sure you wouldn't have left her there if she wasn't receiving good care.
Exactly.
I will also tell you that I believe that the plaintiff acted wholly appropriately in treating your child medically. Wholly appropriately. And that these caveats that you put on this thing are inappropriate because it calls for somebody to make a determination as to what they believe is a 911 emergency. That's what you wrote here. Unless it's a 911 emergency, what does that mean?
Well, to me, a 911 emergency, if she have to call the ambulance and take him out, yes.
No, what if a child is hit on the head and has a gash on the forehead?
Yes, that's a 911 emergency.
No, it isn't.
Well,
no, it
she-
isn't.
okay.
Only for people that don't know how to put a child in the car and take a child to the pediatrician. That's why emergency rooms are overcrowded. She did exactly the right thing. You ought to apologize to her. I'm awarding you your $38 for taking care of the child, and I'm dismissing your counterclaim because it's nonsense. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Do I get my papers?
Yeah, you're good. Out the back door to your right, please.
Well, I'm glad that justice was served and that I did the proper thing.
I think justice was served. I wasn't really trying to get any money out of this. I just wanted her to go away.
I guess I just had a parent that didn't know what would be best for her child.
When my daughter originally got hurt, and I originally advised her that if she is unable to contact me, that she should contact her within the first 15 minutes. If she would have said okay, that would have been enough for me. And my daughter would have still been at her facility because she is a great child care provider.
I hope that parents, when they put their children in facilities, that they know we're there for the best interest of the child and not the parent.
And now the next case.
All parties on Brunette versus Shirazi. Step forward, please.
34-year-old general contractor Daniel Brunette claims 42-year-old holistic healer Virginia Shirazi's Rottweiler ran in front of his truck. He hit the dog and is suing for damage to his truck.
Mr. Brunette, you're driving along in your truck. The defendant's dog ran out into the street. You hit the dog, damaged the truck.
That's correct.
And you want to be compensated, and you want her to pay for the damage to the truck.
That's right.
Ms. Shirazi, are you conceding the fact, madam, that you are responsible for whatever the costs are, the reasonable costs for fixing the truck?
A small portion.
Okay, so you are conceding that your dog was in the wrong and you were neglectful in letting your dog be out in the street.
No, not.
Well, your dog was out without a leash?
Yes.
What kind of a dog do you have?
A Rottweiler.
That's a big dog.
Mm-hmm.
What was your dog doing out without a leash?
I don't know. It was early in the morning. I believe he got out by mistake.
Okay. Well, your dog is supposed to be on a leash. You are supposed to be responsible as a pet owner to make sure that a dog, especially a dog that size, doesn't get out into the street.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He says that the estimate that he got from your body shop is $600. You have it here as $423. Well, is it
He
$600?
exaggerates everything.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Daniel Brunette is suing Virginia Shirazi for damage to his truck after hitting her Rottweiler.
Tell me how the accident happened, sir.
Well, I was traveling eastbound on Los Feliz Drive about 7 o'clock in the morning, probably 20 miles per hour approximately. All of a sudden, I split second saw a dog's head just above my hood and smashed right into it. The dog flew a little bit of a distance. I jumped out of my truck to try and help. I couldn't get anywhere near the dog. The dog was growling at me. That's when some neighbors came out. Also were trying to help. It was a real chaotic scene.
Is your dog all right now?
Fine.
Good. Let me see the damage to the truck. Ooh, that's some strong dog.
110 pounds.
Did you see the damage to his
I'd
truck?
like to see that picture.
Sure. Show that to the defendant, please.
Okay.
Okay, did you get estimates on the truck?
Yes, I did.
Can I see them, please? You got one estimate, sir?
I have two. Here's the other one.
That's some difference.
I know, and I'm worried a little bit that the lower estimate might be a lowball figure, Your Honor.
What year truck is this, sir?
1987.
So the truck is a decade old.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Or more.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You have any sort of homeowner's insurance that could help defray this cost? Okay. The lower estimate is $898.24.
I have a lower estimate. He was with me.
A lower estimate from whom?
From another body shop. He went with me. We took the truck.
And what was the lower estimate?
I have it here.
Can I see it, please? Mr. Burnett, did you in fact accompany the defendant to another body shop?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please note that it says previous damage to it.
What's the problem with taking the truck to her?
Well, I agreed to take the truck to her guy originally. This is a friend of hers.
Mhm.
This is when she agreed to pay for the damage.
Right.
He did say he would do it for $600. He also specified to me that he would not do that work for me. He was only doing it for her. I guess there's not a real problem with taking it to this guy, except for the fact that he wouldn't even give me a written estimate at the time, and I just want to make sure it gets done properly. And in the beginning, I was trying to be as gentlemanly as I could about it, and agreeing to go ahead and go to a friend of hers, even though I wasn't sure. This guy was a legitimate businessman. So after she refused to pay, then that was pretty much the last contact I had with her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
He says that the estimate that he got from your body shop was $600. You have it here as $423. Well, is it
He
$600?
exaggerates everything.
No, I'm asking you a question.
I'm sorry.
What
he
was it?
exaggerates everything. He's out. Anyway.
Have you ever had your body work done at this body work shop?
Yes, I trust him. Mike's Auto Body is a reputable body shop. Been in business for 10, 20 years.
Okay. The estimate that you have is $423.84. Make it $424, and his lowest estimate is $898 or $900. Bert, do me a favor, please. You're in charge of this. Add up those two figures, $898 and $424.
And then you want to divide it in half?
Yes.
I anticipated, Judge.
Well, we've known each other a long time.
Yes, we have. 661.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $661. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. I'll be back to your right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
All parties on Harmon versus Wilkins. Step forward.
25-year-old Pamela Harmon is suing her former supervisor at Lee's Famous Recipe Kitchen, Anthony Wilkins, 36, for repossessing her car. Anthony says she stopped making payments.
All rise. Order in the court. Your Honor, this is case number 700 on the calendar in the matter of Harmon versus Wilkins. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Ms. Harmon, you worked at the same place where the defendant was employed. He was your supervisor, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you purchased an automobile from him back in, is it May of 1997?
Yes.
What kind of car was it?
It was an 89 Honda Accord.
And the purchase price?
It was a total of $6,000.
Okay. And from what I gather, your arrangement with him was, since you didn't have the money for the car, and you didn't have someone to co-sign a note for you, what you arranged to do was you would keep the title in your name until the purchase price was paid.
No, until she made arrangements to purchase the vehicle herself.
But the title was in your name?
Yes.
Okay. You drove the car for 13 months?
Yes, I did.
And then he repossessed the car because he says that you stopped making payments. Is that right?
Yes, she didn't drive it 13 months, though.
Well, she says that you repossessed the car in June of '98.
Yeah, but I didn't give her the car when you had stated. It was about 8 months, in my opinion.
I figured that she drove this car for 13 months. Is that what you say? You drove the car for 13 months?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you make the payments for the 13 months?
Yes, I did.
All the payments?
All of them.
Show me.
Mr. Wilkins refused to give me any receipts whatsoever. In fact, I tried to give him a money order, and he told me that he did not want his wife to know how much money was in his bank account. So he ordered for me to give him cash every time. When we got paid every 2 weeks, he would come down to the store, I'd go up to the bank, come back, and hand him $130.
Is that right,
every
sir?
time.
The $130 part's right.
What's not right?
For 8 payments. The wife thing, I have no idea what she's talking about, and the receipt thing, she never asked for one.
According to you, when did she stop making payments? You said she made some payments that were partial as well.
Yes.
Well, tell me about
But we
that.
had an ongoing, business relationship. I had loaned Pam money. Her, husband was a little abusive, trashed the cars that she had when I had met her. And so she stopped about, probably 6 weeks before I found the car.
Well, how much do you say she gave you in total during the time?
She gave me 8 payments of $260, I guess is what she's trying to say. I thought the payment was $240.
You say she drove the car for 8 months, and she gave you 8 payments, so that she wasn't in arrears to you when you took the car back.
When I went and took the car, she had quit her job prior to that and was not making any payments.
Did you lose your job, or did you leave your job?
I did leave my job.
When did you leave your job?
June 2nd.
And when did you actually repossess the car?
I would probably say sometime towards the end of that, or maybe early July.
When did he repossess the car?
It was the 19th of June.
Had you made June's payment?
Yes, in fact, I made the payment on the 12th, because I went to another job at UDF. He came to my job and got money from me, $130. At that time, he had asked me if I was filing a lawsuit against his company for sexual harassment. At that time, I told him no, but I was ordered by my attorneys not to discuss it with anybody. I had gotten in contact with my attorney on June 2nd, and on the 19th, the car is gone.
Okay. You indicate here that you believe the reason he repossessed the car was because you had filed a sexual harassment suit against both the company and he and his supervisor.
Right.
Was he the defendant in that action?
He is the supervisor I reported it to, and our lawsuit is for the company not doing anything about it.
So it was some other employee who you allege was
Right.
sexually harassing you.
Right.
Mr. Wilkins, when did you find out about this lawsuit?
I have no idea what she's talking about. I've never been served any papers, Your Honor. No one's ever called or told me anything about a sexual harassment suit.
Mr. Wilkins, I didn't ask you whether you were served with papers, sir. What I asked you was, when did you discover that she was, in fact, by somebody telling you, by your employer telling you, by somebody telling you that she was, in fact, pursuing a sexual harassment claim?
Actually, I found out from her lawyer at an unemployment hearing that she subsequently lost because she...
When was that?
I don't know. She probably has the... whenever
December
that was.
28th of 97, or 98.
So are you testifying, Mr. Wilkins, under oath that you never knew about this sexual harassment lawsuit in June of 98?
Absolutely.
Okay. And the only reason you repossessed the car is because she had stopped making payments.
And couldn't find financing, and she was out of stories by that point.
Okay. Now, Ms. Harmon, let's take your best case scenario, okay? That you drove this car for 13 months, and then he repossessed it. The car was clearly in his name, right?
Yep.
You want all the money that you paid over the 13 months back.
Right.
That means that you get to drive a car for 13 months for free.
It was under my understanding that I was buying the car.
Just listen to me. You get to drive a car for 13 months for free. A car doesn't appreciate in value. A 1989 Honda does not appreciate in value like a Rolls Royce. It depreciates in value. Now, if you went to rent a car, how much do you think you'd pay for a rental car a month?
I have no clue.
Would you pay at least $200 a month? Can't get much for $200 a month for a rental car, right? You drove this car for 13 months, according to you. That's $2,600. According to you, you gave him $3,000. You can't prove it to me that you gave him $3,000. Sounds to me as if you had a pretty good deal. You had transportation, you drove a car, cheap. What are you complaining about?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You had a car?
Yes.
She borrowed your car?
Yes.
She wrecked your car?
Yes.
You had an accident and it was your fault?
And later today,
two of us fell in love immediately.
He gave you his entire paycheck.
What I told him at some point is, you're taking more money than you're giving me.
Well, you should have shown him the door.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Pamela Harmon claims Anthony Wilkins repossessed her car after paying him $3,000.
It's his car. You were renting it from them until you paid it off. So you are really you're in a much more favorable position, as a matter of fact, than when you started, because you had a car that you could drive that was a reasonable car for 13 months that you paid about $200 a month for to drive it around. Why are you complaining?
I lost the money and lost the car. I have no car. I'm supposed to have the car. Never once did I miss a payment. He had no reason to take the car.
I don't believe that after you quit your job and filed a sexual harassment suit that you were paying him diligently. And you should be smart enough, and if you're not smart enough, you will be in the future, that when you make a car payment, you get a receipt. If you pay it in cash, you get a receipt. You get something to say, I made this payment.
I trusted him. I thought I did.
That's all. This case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Justice prevailed.
Don't buy a car from him.
And now the next case.
All parties on Tomlinson versus Gerondale. Step forward, please.
19-year-old student Tara Tomlinson says her former best friend, 19-year-old nanny Hillary Gerondale, borrowed her car and wrecked it. Hillary says Tara never asked if she was hurt.
I have a lot of questions about this case. Ladies, you were friends when you were growing up and going to school in Alaska, is that right?
Correct.
You had a car?
Yes.
She borrowed your car?
Yes.
She wrecked your car?
Yes.
That was 3 years ago?
Correct.
How old were you at the time?
16.
And you?
16.
But let's just talk about the fact that you let this thing ride for 3 years. You knew it was your fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had an accident and it was your fault. And the idea is that when you have an accident and it's your fault, you take care of it immediately. So this is your mom? Okay. Step up here. Ms. Tomlinson?
Yes.
Can you tell me why you didn't immediately, when your daughter told you that her car had been wrecked, initiate suit against Ms. Gerondale on behalf of her daughter for the costs of having your car fixed?
Well, we did initially contact them and made every effort to even split the cost with them of what it had cost us. They said that they would not pay for any of it. So we did. Hillary's father.
Why didn't your insurance cover it?
Well, it would have covered it, but Tara had had an accident already.
Your daughter?
Uh-huh. And she had just turned 16 in September of that year, and she had had an accident, and they said if we turned this in, if there were any other accidents within the next 3 years, they'd cancel our insurance.
Okay. Now, my question to you is, I assume you discussed this matter with your husband. Is that right? Didn't you feel any responsibility at all?
At the time, he did offer to pay the deductible, but by the time things escalated, the deductible wasn't going to be there because they chose not to turn into the insurance.
What was your deductible?
$500. And they never paid even the $500.
Well,
they completely washed their hands of the whole thing.
Do you feel as if you have a moral obligation to pay the $500?
Yes.
Which means that the insurance would have covered the other out-of-pocket expenses you had, but for the fact that your daughter had had a previous accident. Is that right? So you would consent to a judgment in the amount of $500. Is that fair?
Yes.
Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The friendship suffered over something like this, and she and I were best friends for 4 years.
I'm just glad after 3 years it's over with, and I just wish it could have been over with 3 years ago so we could have rekindled our friendship.
And now the next case.
Parties on Oaks versus Finley. Step forward, please.
48-year-old dog breeder Mignon Oaks is suing former live-in lover, auto salesman James Finley, 49, for rent. James says he gave Mignon all the money he made.
Miss Oaks, you and the defendant lived together for 2 years.
For 11 months.
Okay. And you were hoping to build a future together, I assume.
Yes, ma'am.
It didn't work out.
No.
You say that he owes you money for room and board.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
In May of '97, I produced a program, and I had a gospel singer to come and put on a concert. James was one of her background singers. We met and we traveled in similar circles, and the two of us fell in love immediately. By September 27th, he moved in with me. One of the first things we decided on was that he would pay rent and how much the rent would be. We agreed on $250 per month, and he agreed that he would contribute $2 per month towards the food bill. What I didn't understand was the financial situation that he was in when he moved in. He worked a temporary job, and they didn't...
Just a minute. Well, you acknowledge, Miss Oaks, in your papers, and he indicates that he gave you his entire paycheck.
He gave me his entire check.
And that you took that check. Is that right?
Yes.
And with that check, I assume that you used it to pay a variety of bills, and he took money out of that to have cash in his pocket as well. Is that right?
What he did is came to me for his car note, for gasoline, for food money, for money to lend to, which I later found out was still his wife. I did not know that he was married, to give her money for gasoline. He'd often let her use his car and use one of my cars. What I told him at some point is, you're taking more money than you're giving me.
Well, you should have shown him the door.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I was there for him. I supported him. I tried to help him be the man that he wanted to be.
Well, it doesn't work out that way, Miss Oaks.
Closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Mignon Oaks is suing former live-in lover James Findlay for rent.
So you took his paychecks and you handled the finances as if you were a married couple.
Yes, ma'am.
But when it didn't work out, you want him to pay you the $250 a month rent for 11 months. Is that right?
That's correct.
And food.
That's correct.
Well, it doesn't work out that way, Miss Oaks.
Your Honor, there were more things involved that I did for him that were specifically loans. There are many things that I did for him because I cared for him, because I loved him.
Show me the list that's for loans.
What I have here, after he moved out, he made 3 payments to me on the loans that he agreed he owed me. It wasn't just for food and rent. I kept his car note current so that he could keep a job or try to find a job, paid gasoline bills so that he can get to and from. I bought him the suit that he's wearing so that he wouldn't look so shabby and perform.
Show me what he says he owes you.
What I have here is a copy of 2 checks, front and back, that he paid me after he moved out, one for $500 and one for $100.
Okay, so he
They
paid
are
you.
made payable to me as a beginning. We got together, we sat down, we looked at the list. We both agreed on what he owed me.
Well, what did you both agree on?
He would pay me $300 a month each month beginning in January of this year for 2 years.
Did you agree to pay her $300 a month for 2 years?
Yes, I did. I did agree to pay her because initially she said that I owed her $11,000. And I kind of got behind in the payments. I mean, we settled on a $7,500 figure, which again, both of those figures that she had presented me with initially, I felt were just too much money. So we tried to compromise at $7,500 with me paying her a certain amount of money. And it just hasn't worked out where I've been able to fulfill that obligation every month.
Okay. Now, what was that for, Mr. Findlay?
Again, the times that she paid my car note, quite a few gift items that she bought me, a few things that she had bought for my children.
Okay.
And
how much was your car note?
a little under $400 a month.
How many times did she make this car payment for you?
3, maybe 4 months consecutively.
Well, that's $1,600. We're not up to $7,500 yet, or even close. What else?
There were a couple of cruises that we went on together. There were a couple of out-of-town engagements that she helped me get to.
Well, when you went on cruises together, was there an agreement that you would pay half?
No.
When you went on cruises together, how did that come about?
We, as soon after we met, we went on a gospel cruise with a friend of ours, and he was singing on that cruise.
Did that cost you any money?
Yes.
Well, how much did it cost you?
He borrowed $100 from one friend on the cruise, $100 from another friend on the cruise, and $100 from me. Okay,
I'm not interested
I paid the extras. The second cruise we went on a year later, he agreed to pay me back, and it was $625 in total for the cruise and the air.
Does that sound familiar, the $625 for that cruise?
Yes. And there was an amount that I gave her immediately as we returned from the cruise that she accepted, and I thought that was actually my end of it.
How much was that?
It was over $250.
Does that sound familiar?
He gave me $800, a check for $500, a check for $200.
For what?
A check for $100 towards the entire debt. Rent, food, the cruise. He was married. He could never come up with the money to file divorce papers. There was the filing fees for that. There were the car notes. I paid for his insurance for 2 months. I had to give him gasoline to go to work every day. We were trying to make it. I was there for him. I supported him. I tried to help him be the man that he wanted to be. It just didn't work out.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
Why did you stop paying her?
Well, you know, really, we started having some real problems. She became abusive. I'm still getting these threats that she's going to do this or that and tear up this or tear up that. You know, it came to a point where I was suggested to me by a friend that I should get a restraining order, and I didn't do that. It was also suggested by my employer that I do that because she had wrote letters to my job, addressed to my managers
Was this
and all
all
that.
about money?
Well, at this point, it seems to be all about money.
Okay, so she wanted her money. If you'd paid her money, she would have left you alone.
I don't think so.
Well, let's try it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Out the back door to your right.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge...
All parties on Hill versus Loker, step forward.
22-year-old office clerk Deshane Hill says former roommate, 21-year-old receptionist Ariel Loker caused her to be evicted. Ariel says Deshane threatened to kill her.
All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 695 on the calendar in the matter of Hill versus Loker. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
How old are you?
23.
And you?
21.
According to this complaint, you two decided to live together. You signed a 6-month lease on an apartment. You moved in September. You each paid half the rent of September. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then came October, and you didn't have any money for the rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
So why didn't you have any money for the rent?
I had the money for rent. My little sister's car got broken into. We had it in there. We were at a friend's apartment, and it was broken into, and it was stolen. We know who did it, but...
What does this have to do with your rent money?
That was the rent money that was in there.
I mean, the dog ate the rent money.
No, the dog didn't eat the rent money. It was stolen out of the car.
What'd you leave the money in the car for?
We had it in the glove compartment.
What'd you have it in the glove compartment for? I mean, you say that as if it's normal. People don't leave cash in a glove compartment.
I know. We shouldn't have done it, but we did.
In any event, she didn't have the rent money for October. You paid your half?
Yes, I did.
And then in mid-October, what happened?
We got an eviction notice on the door. And when I had first talked to her about the rent, and she had told me about that, because I asked her for the rent money, I was just going to go write a check. And that's when she told me that she didn't have the rent money. I went and I paid my half of the rent, hoping that she would pay hers, and she never said anything else about it. October 15th, we got an eviction notice. So I waited for her to come home. She came home with another young woman, which I believe is her witness. And I was upset. So, you know, I'm asking her, why isn't the rent paid? She tells me, oh, I had money stolen, and my parents had money stolen, something else, I don't know. And I said, okay, but the rent needs to be paid, you know? And so she starts telling me her sob story about everything that's going on and saying that she has no way to pay it and that I'm not being understanding. My point was, maybe I'm not being understanding, but this is my rental history. This is my credit. And even if she has other problems, she shouldn't affect that.
Absolutely right.
Right. So what she said is she took her witness with her and said, well, I'm going to go call somebody and see if I can get the money. She came back later that evening. My boyfriend, who's my witness, was there. She came back later that evening and said that she had got the money, someone was going to send it to her, and that she'd pay the rent tomorrow. I didn't think anything of it. I believed her. She went upstairs, took a few boxes, and that was the last I saw her.
Why did you move out?
Because she threatened. Amanda and I were in there. First of all, Billy was never there after any of this happened.
Just tell me why you moved out.
Okay, that's fine. We went upstairs. She's on the phone screaming. We hear smashing downstairs. There was glass all over our kitchen. She said to her friend that was on the phone that she was going to get a gun and she was going to kill me. And that's exactly what she said. Amanda was there, heard it. It's not a lie. She did that. And the way she was acting, we were both scared. So I went home, talked to my parents, talked to a couple people, and I decided to get out. I'm not going to stay somewhere where I'm going to be fearing for my life.
You could understand why she was angry.
Oh, of course I could. But for her to say that she's going to kill me, that's not right.
No.
It's not worth killing someone over.
No. I know my sense is that sometimes you say, I'm going to kill her, and then you don't mean it. And of course, there are occasional times when that does happen. But it's not usual. Well, you know, you have to be responsible for some of the damages that she claims.
I completely understand that.
All right, good. Now, you ended up paying.
Yes, I did.
In October, her half of the rent.
Yes,
and
I
how
did.
much was her half of the rent?
Well, that month we had a discount where we got $100 off our rent. So her half of the rent for that month was $325.
Okay. And then you had to stay there in November because you had to give...
तेरे बिना जो लम्हा गुजरता है, दिल का हर कोने सूखा सूखा लगता है। तेरी हंसी की रोशनी से ही घर मेरा चमकता, तू दूर हो जाए तो हर पल दिल तड़पता, तू बाहों में आ जाए तो जिंदगी खुद से भी खूबसूरत हो जाए। तू मेरे साथ रहना चाहे दुनिया रूठ जाए, तेरे बिना मैं आधा तो आए तो मैं पूरा हो जाए। तू बस मेरे साथ रहना। तेरी नजरों में छुपा एक प्यार का समंदर है, मैं डूब भी जाऊं तो भी डर का कोई एहसास नहीं। तेरी सांसों की गरम हवा सुकून सा धीरे से कह रही, तू मेरा हो मैं तेरी हूँ, कभी दूर मत जाना कहीं। तू पास हो तो पल भी रुक कर सांस भरते, दिल के सारे घाव तेरे एक छू से भरते। अगर तू कह दे चल मेरे साथ, मैं दुनिया से कह दूं बस यही मेरी बात। तू मेरे साथ रहना, हर दर्द को प्यार में बहना, तेरी धड़कन का रास्ता बनकर मैं जिंदगी भर तेरे साथ रहना। तू हमेशा मेरे साथ रहना। Will it hold up on another day? It's a fine line between this and that. Don't wanna have to be walking it back. Happiness hangs in the balance. The uplift could go either way. Gray areas that creep in the cracks. Don't wanna have to be walking it back. I've changed my position. I'm like an electron in orbit, jumping between states. Oh, the light I emit, wasting precious energy, defending